Hello, hey, it's Hagar Hatchard again on vlog number 4 with Boost 307. So we did, our last vlog was a little bit of a preemptive on Brexit, and I think there was a bit of a theme about business. What we've been doing is, obviously we've set 307 up effectively now just over 3 weeks ago. And one of the things that's come up there has been a sort of, with our clients, our business clients, in terms of a business plan. Clearly with disruptive technologies, the space is changing there then. And this is just a bit of a guide. This is not you can go on the internet, you can go to the banks, you can pick up a template for a business plan. But this was kind of a bit more generic in terms of ideas and things to think about into your business plan in terms of an approach to an SME. This can be based on a property business with 1 employee or 2. It could be an SME which technically is 1 to 25 employees. And I think at the moment with entrepreneurship, maybe we're in a space now where people probably want to bring that into the UK a bit more. People are in employment, people want 0-hour contracts, which has a sort of fairly poor media implication. For me, if you're in the gig economy, you're in a millennial, etc., and you're sort of the younger generation, people probably don't want to do a full career for life. People want more flexibility, and then maybe entrepreneurship. So we felt that maybe just looking at some considerations for business plan. So obviously you're going to need a fairly clear mission. Okay, military background here is know what your mission is. If you don't know what your mission is, you're going to basically go off topic. Come away and rezone on there and be very, very clear. You've got sort of with a military head on there is what the mission is, and then you can have an execution paragraph of how you're going to achieve it, but be very, very clear what it is. Okay, goods and services. Okay, are you selling a good? So for example, on one of the Boost 307 piece, we've got our sort of property courses, we've got running a small business course, there's a health and fitness, there's social media. So for example, the health and fitness, I said to you before, we've identified a supplier for our protein mixes. So there is going to be a good. It's going to be a sort of a protein mix. It's going to be health bars. It could be capsules and tablets. So they are a particular good. In terms of a service then, you're providing a service. So for example, our mentorships, property mentorships or business mentorships. In terms of the courses, is it down the lines of property? Is it down the lines of running a business, health and fitness and social media? And that's a service, and being very, very specific what it is. And then your USP. Why should somebody go and take your sports product? Why should somebody take your mentorship and your courses? Is it a price point piece? Is it the length of the course? Is it the type of course that's being presented in a certain manner? It could be where you just need a monthly subscription service of support, get some reports sent over. So that mission needs to be very clear, your product needs to be very clear, and your service there, because at the moment we're in the world of it's all about here, now, cheap as possible, and then distinguishing yourself from there. And then as Warren Buffett says, is provide a service, delight your customer. Okay, a good is a bit easier if it's a quality good. If it's a case of an online presence being put in a warehouse, then that's obviously a different consideration to have. But on the service side, and I do think as tech is moving away and being of a certain age and being a bit of a technophobe, and I'm trying to get back into that space personally, is the ability there where tech is running away, we're leaving a really big gap of people. And I think there's a real arena there to be able to provide better service. We've said this before with the environment as well. Lots of demands. I know Davos is going on at the moment. Greta Thunberg, David Attenborough's been doing his presentation as well. Is that space there is somewhere where service can get huge opportunities. Governments can do one thing, but I think enterprise and entrepreneurs can fill that space and be quickly. Okay, the next line down there, power teams. So when you're putting a business plan together, is it a single person enterprise or do you have team members? They're very American power teams, but that's kind of quite good. You want to grow into there. So you need to be able to look at that. Are you going down the route? We're in a different business environment. It's not about careers for life. It's not about ownership of big buildings and vehicles and pension plans. It's much more light touch. How many people go to a cafe now and you've got everybody on their phones, they're into the internet, they're on their computers, and they go in there all day. They may be doing hot desking. We're going away from that ownership. Now that has an opportunity in the property sector for owners and landlords to provide those good spaces. A good example of that, where you've got Regis, which is a slightly old-fashioned business, then the WeWork. Again, the media's been a little bit unkind to WeWork, but it's a changing space. That's a slightly different business model in terms of people don't want the ownership. They want to have a vanilla career in there. And this ownership piece is there. So instead of having huge, great employment contracts and workplace pensions, which has its place, it might be a case of where you're just bringing people on a consultancy basis. A good example is the building industry, where you may have one or two main builders and everything else is being subcontracted out. Okay, and that's the environment, and it's going to certainly go into that space as well. Okay, have you got the right people? Be very careful in your selection. Very easy to rush in. It might be friends, it might be family, it might be somebody that you've known for a long time. When you get into the pressures of business, and there are a lot of pressures in business at the moment, UK, we're in Brexit uncertainty. Remember, we've had recession, austerity, compliance, regulation. Compliance and regulation from several years ago is still impacting. USA is deregulating, certainly the UK space at the moment. That is not the case, but that might be the case for the future. Again, with your projections, so year 1, 2, 3, they do say some business plans to go out for 5 years. I think in the present climate, that's probably a little bit too far, but certainly year 1, 2, and 3, and be very clear in terms of turnover. Everybody's about the projections. It's always about the ego, about the top line. Okay, let's look at costs. Okay, fair to say at the moment I think with the online presence, retail space, globalisation, and certainly the UK with Brexit, every single company, every single individual purpose, you can see the credit rating agencies on TV, you can see big news about some of the big companies where for some reason their accounts are being filed wrong. Personally, I think it's because that's being outsourced abroad, and I think we're losing the quality there. That will come. It's a bit like the call centres from years ago. So very interesting, absolutely nailing the costs. I'm going to come on to a bit of a mindset piece a bit later on. Turnover costs, and then you're into your profits. Earnings, EBIT, earnings before interest and tax. DA, depreciation and amortisation, sort of close brackets there. When you're doing your company here, so what is it? Is it a part-time business where you're still in employment? So that's a risk-reward piece. Are you leaving fully to go full-time? Have you got the skill sets and the funds behind you? Or are you in paid employment where this is like what the Americans called a side hustle? Okay, so this is now the business mantra of going, okay, are you still in employment and you're running your business as a commercial hobby? Or is it a 100% complete startup which has more of a risk element to it? Okay, have you got resources behind you, or have you got a good in the service that you've done before, or your own skill set that you can take into business straight away? Or is it a part-time sole trader business, or a full-time, full-fat limited company? You decide in terms of setting it up. You know, from our clients on our database, over 200 people, both in property and small, medium enterprises, having something where you're doing it as a sideline and building it can be quite good. If there's partners in there, if it's a relationship partners, or if it's friends or family, maybe one of you can trade sort of, you know, income coming in for time, you know, your sweat equity in the industry. The structure there, again, you can run this well. It's just like a business owner, where it's just a one-man or one-lady band. If you're at the director, the executive, or the money side, if you're working at a higher level, the chief executive officer, so, you know, effectively running the business, the operations officer, CFO, the finance, which probably could be sort of seconded out and done on an irregular basis. Remember as well, bookkeeping as opposed to accountancy. Very, 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 very different piece there. When you're starting out, it's very easy to sort of give a lot of your business away. Do not do that on turnover. Do it more on profit, pure profit bottom line, and do it on performance, and do it over several years. You want a probation period to try your people because you do not want a commitment where you've got somebody who's not right. Income a bit Grant Card only here now, so if you've got your big turnover coming in, remember, put stuff away for a rainy day for the taxation, VAT, contingencies, etc. You want to be putting 40% into that space, 40% needs to be going back into the business, and you're going to be living on 20%. We've just got a couple of new businesses now, so we've got a little bit of a cost concept, as it were. A lot of people do not work from home, they do not work locally, and that is something a lot of people don't realise. You've got partnerships, friends, partners, marriages, children. A lot of people do work away, whether you work overseas on contracts or you're doing a Monday to Friday piece there. We've got a couple of businesses at the moment where we're doing £30 a day as costs. So that basically is accommodation costs, £10 a day, fuel or transport costs and food costs. And that's pretty minimal. £30 a day, so that's very simply, bottom line there is you're going to have all your other expenses going out, but then if you've got your turnover and your profit, work out what your day rate is, your hour rate is. Okay, let's get rid of all the sort of swanky company cars and the big pension plans and all the offices here. Get these costs down and get into your business and get the metrics right. Okay, just a couple of trends that have been observed in terms of business planning over the years is accounts has been on the radar. The big four, there's clearly something going on. There's a lot of companies where company account filing, there is something going on. I think somebody's just filed some accounts recently with the big traders, and they got the accounts the wrong way around. And you're thinking to yourself, you know, these are multi-million-pound businesses. Those are basics. If it's a question of outsourcing here, if that's at the top level, businesses going under, if you're doing your bookkeeping and your own accounts here, I'd say that compared to 10 years ago, certainly from our experience, our business coaches and mentors, costs, we've said this before, lawyers, a lot more disputes. Certainly in the UK at the moment, we're getting a lot more disputes, getting much more like very sort of, say aggressive America, but certainly New York where things are pretty robust in there. You are now spending more time with accountants in your business and your lawyers. The attitude to risk, okay, a lot of YouTube clips out there, you know, take the hit, do the entrepreneurship, go out there. You have to be very pragmatic on the downside. So bring those teams in earlier on. And at the moment, I would say, just as a concluding comment, is look at risk, safety and the disruptor industries. Okay, with the disruptor industries, we're seeing this in the banking sector. 345 banks and building societies here. You look at the disruptor banks, they're now getting their banking licenses, and you can see the old archaic banks where they're closing their branches down. That is at a day-to-day business level really obvious, where you pay somebody a bill and then all of a sudden they go, oh, the bank account's changed because it's a sort code, it's a geographical locator. They're reducing that service. Big hoo-ha about RBS in Scotland over there. So all of a sudden banks which don't have the massive reputation, the big sort of traditional banks here, disruptors are coming in and they're reducing their costs. Challenger banks don't have the branches. So I'm into that space, we're really there. But also as well, look at the upside, look at the risks and make sure you're very pragmatic in terms of safety. And that is definitely a theme that's coming into the end of 2019, certainly with the Brexit and the uncertainty. And I think we're going to be in a different space, which is what I opened up on our vlog 3 on Brexit. So a bit of a snapshot there in terms of a bit of a sort of a vanilla selection there in terms of business plans, small, medium enterprises, some of the things to put in there. There are the good templates and some considerations that certainly over the last 1, 2, 3 years we feel that's moving in that space. Things are changing. You can see that in terms of social media coming in. So again, with your business plan, you're going to need your website presence, your sort of 7 platforms here. Are you a millennial? Are you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, in your 60s, 70s and 80s? And the approach to that and the profile there. That will certainly be on the space for HMRC, on the space for investors, for the banks, etc., etc., etc. Exciting but changing as well. So good luck with your small business. your small medium enterprises, good luck with your business plan, and look forward to you on vlog 5. Many thanks.